All right, I would like to call to order the meeting of August 18th, 2020. And I would like to ask Deanne Davis to lead us in an invocation, and then I will lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance to our flag.
Lord, we ask your blessing on our community and our world during this time. Be with our leaders as they guide us and as they make decisions to keep our citizens safe. Give them the wisdom and knowledge they need during this time. In your name we pray.
Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Can I have a roll call, please?
Becker?
Here.
Souter?
Here.
McBain?
Here.
Liston?
Here.
Tilio?
Here.
Noel?
Here.
Blakeman?
Here.
Willard?
Here.
Hudson?
You all received the meeting minutes from July 21st, as well as the special joint meeting minutes from August 4th. Any comments or questions on either of those? Hearing none, they'll stand as submitted. You received the Planning Commission meeting minutes from July 14th. Any comments on those?
There was an error. Hold on. Yeah, I'm sorry, I couldn't tell if I was muted. There was an error on there, just in the thicknesses of the concrete and stuff for the storage facility. I think it said 6 feet instead of 6 inches or something like that. So we obviously don't think we need to correct it tonight. I just wanted to make you aware of it.
Well, I think you got,
Planning Commission would have to correct that.
Yeah, I just.
Well, that was
Council can't correct it.
Dan, that was from the August meeting. So we won't have those meetings. This is July's.
Oh, all right. So
Yeah.
the August meeting was.
Yeah.
Actually, the agenda should say August 11th because those are the minutes that we just got. So that's a mistake on the agenda.
Anyway, there is a mistake.
Talking
on
about
it.
Dan DiTilio is talking about Planning Commission minutes, correct?
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah,
So
council
there's an
can't
error.
amend Planning Commission minutes.
Yeah, I was just making you aware of it. So
Yeah. Not only that, August's minutes have not even been presented to the Planning Commission yet.
right, I was just making you aware of the error. So
Thank you.
correct it.
Crystal, do you have something you're wanting to bring up this evening?
Yeah, I just wanted to get official permission for the 'Twas the Night Before 5K this year.
Anything different about it than years past?
Yeah, actually, so we are looking at December 1st and 2nd. And to comply with current social distancing, we need to do those 2 nights as of right now. And we're looking at running 2 heats each night, a 6 p.m. and either 8 or 8:30 p.m. We already have the permission of Joy of Christmas, the park board, the police department. The state of Ohio has recently said that road racing can continue again. And I've been in constant contact with Lori at the health department on updates because of the racing that we're doing with cross country and the series race and stuff like that. So she's already aware of what we're doing. There's no after party. We're going to do heats. I think of 125 athletes as of right now at the most. And we just have to keep following all the current social distancing guidelines that are out there. Seems to be working. We're doing a lot of races up in the Canfield Fairgrounds. We have one coming up on Sunday. Things have been working well for those events. The series race in town for the cross country has been working well, following all the guidelines with the masks before the start of the race, putting them back on, only having bottled water provided, things like that.
Crystal, you mentioned the masks. Okay. the mask would be on at the start of the race. Once they separate, do they still have to maintain having the mask on?
So the current guidelines through OHSAA, the state of Ohio, the local health department, the USATF, they're all saying they want the masks on at the starting line, and then within the last 5 minutes before the race starts, they're allowed to take those masks off. They have to carry them with them. Once they finish the race, then they are supposed to put them back on as soon as they can actually breathe well enough to do so.
Even
It's
though
been-
the governor's language is a little bit different?
Yes, it is based upon very specific language from the governor. They are allowing during athletics for the masks to be off. That was on his thing today. And actually at 8 o'clock tonight, cross country is having a discussion with the governor that I'll be on, hearing those specific guidelines for racing. But as of right now, we've been told that masks are not mandated during the running itself.
Are you doing temperature testing and the proper language, asking each one of the racers if they've been around someone who's been affected?
We have not started registration yet, but at the based upon the races that we have done already this season, that is what we are doing. When they sign up for the race, they have to fill out a waiver at that time. Also acknowledging that on race day, they will have to also answer those same questions. So, I mean, it's a little far off to take the results of the questions today, if they were to register today, and make that apply to December, but they are going to be made aware that those same questions will be asked again on race day for them in order to participate.
Do you have a way of being able to cross-check and follow up if someone the day or two later or what have you comes down with the COVID-19?
So what the health department is making me do is keep track of every athlete. We have to have assigned pickup dates as well for their packets ahead of time. And then we have to take their temperatures on race day. I am taking that information and I'm holding on to it. Then if anybody were to call back, because the health departments are doing the contact tracing, if they call back and say, hey, we have an athlete that was there, we need to know what heat they were in and who else was there, stuff like that. I do have to keep all that information. Talking to Lori at the health department, the communication is not necessarily perfect between one county to another, but they are working on that. So I hope by December they have that down a little bit better. But like I said, I do have to keep all that information in my records in case somebody does contact me.
Well, thank you for following a lot of things diligently, crossing the T's and dotting the I's and trying to keep all of us safe in our world today.
Thank you.
Does anyone have any other questions for Crystal? Is there someone that would like to make a motion to approve this?
I'll make a motion that we approve Crystal's 5K race night before Christmas.
Seconded.
Any comments?
I can tell you I've been at every one of her cross-country races and she's been diligent about following the rules. So I don't think that we have any concerns here.
Thank you, Dan.
No problem.
We have a roll call, please.
Becker,
Yes.
Souter,
Yes.
McBain? You're muted, Dick.
Yeah, I just realized that. Yes.
Liston,
Yes.
DiTilio,
Yes.
Noel,
Yes. Dan, the only reason that I brought up a lot of those things, and I know that Crystal does those, but there are so many things going on in our community, the surrounding communities, the various colleges, universities, and things like that. If we've got it on the record that she's doing it, then, you know, that's the real reason for bringing a lot of that up.
Yeah, I don't question that, Dan. I agree with you 100%. That was the right thing to do. I was just reassuring everyone that I've seen her in action the last 3 weeks, and she is diligent about following the rules. So just wanted to reinforce that.
Very good. Well,
Brian,
yeah.
before you leave this part of the agenda, I have something I want to bring up
Okay.
whenever it's convenient.
No, go ahead.
Okay, I didn't know whether you had anybody else on deck. Paul Rance, the chairman of the Christmas parade, annual Christmas parade, asked me to request of council that they would approve the Christmas parade on November 20th. This, of course, would only be able to be taken place if it meets with all the requirements of the CDC and their guidelines. But the committee has met and is working on some plans, various plans to try to deal with the issues at hand. And I think they would appreciate if we could at least approve it at this point, contingent on meeting the necessary requirements of COVID.
Is there somebody that would like to make a motion to approve that request?
I'll make a motion to approve that request based on the fact that they follow all the rules in effect at that time for COVID.
Second.
Have roll call?
Thank you.
Souter,
Yes.
McBain,
Yes.
Liston,
Yes,
Tilio,
Yes.
Noel,
Yes.
Becker,
Yes.
I think the closer we can get through all the Christmas stuff and get to the end of 2020, the better.
Very true.
I just
Very
hope we'll be
true.
able to do some of it.
Oh, well, with that, we'll move into the manager's report.
Thanks, Brian. So as we start off every meeting, we talk about Zoom. I think tonight, this is the last meeting that the council, called for Zoom. So maybe you guys can have a discussion after my manager's report. I will say that the governor hasn't made any changes for the mass gatherings and has issued a mask order. We did get big news this week. We're really excited. That ODOT project that we had submitted back in July, it was a $1.7 million paving project for small cities. And we basically submitted Fairfield School Road and all of Lisbon Street from West Park down to the underpass and to the city limits, which isn't too far past the underpass. So we were notified this week that it was a competitive grant throughout the state of Ohio, and we were able to land a 95% grant. And so we have to come up with 5% of that, but it works out to $1.5 million that the citizens do not have to pay back. The statistics on it's 6,800 lineal feet of pavement. And again, as I mentioned last time, this particular grant is very specific on which roads we can and can't include in that. And these are one of the last two roads on the paving cycle. So we're really excited about this. I mean, in any given year, that's, if we can pave 200,000, we'd be happy. So that's almost 7 years of paving in one fell swoop. This is much like the others that we've gotten in the past. As you recall, well, actually tonight we have on the agenda that we're putting an engineer ahead of the East Park Avenue, the Springfield Road, and Heck Road. That was also also a small cities grant program. And I believe we received that back in 18, and we'll be doing that next year. So this project will be paving fiscal year 2024 of ODOT's, which starts July 1st of 2023. But we thank everybody involved in that. We did get some letters of support, so we're really thankful for that. And, you know, thankful for the great relationship we have with ODOT. And it was just it was a great, you know, it was a bright spot in 2020. So.
Lance, real quick, I'd like to just add specifically that I know Representative Ginter
Yes.
was very supportive of this project for the city. And I know as of late, he's come under a bit of pressure from some other people in the county suggesting that votes that he's done have taken away from the funds and the money that locally goes to the different cities. So I just wanted to point out that even if that was the case in some situations, it's being made up for in other ways, and that the city of Columbiana is extremely thankful for Representative Ginter and what he did to help support getting this project for us.
Yeah, appreciate that, Brian. And Congressman Johnson also was full support on a federal level. So we really appreciate that. It's awesome that we can get that kind of support. We've been submitting stormwater grants off and on for the last few years. One of the ones that we had just done, we did not get selected. However, we are in the process of putting it in another grant cycle. So we're going to be persevering on this. I actually sat through an hour-and-a-half meeting today on Zoom that's telling us about this grant through FEMA. So we're excited about that. I mentioned the Springfield Road project, the paving that'll occur next year, and the engineering selection is on the agenda tonight. And though it does say emergency in the title, it's just first reading. The ODOT Phase 1 project is finished up. We did perform a walkthrough since the last council meeting in July. Sure, nothing was outstanding, and I think we got all the punch list worked out. Again, that was a great project, and we want to thank ODOT once again, and also R&B for their, they were, you know, both instrumental in us getting that grant. We've had some energy savings days this year. I think we've had at least 7. Those were high loads. We should be getting the paperwork and all the stats on that within the next week or so. I think this is kind of how it worked last year to you know, see how we were doing in that. And again, if we have any more, we encourage everybody to do that. You know, that residents taking part in that now, you know, that positively affects our you know, bottom line next year. So, you know, the residents won't have to pay as much for transmission costs. Plus, when you do participate, you actually decrease your usage that month, which is very helpful in a one of the hottest summers on record there for the month of July, or June and July, I should say. I think I meant, yeah, we talked about the water meters last time, and I had some legislation for irrigation or watering lawns. And I do have that as first reading. We've been working on that. Well, actually, we've been talking about it for years, but we've been working on it on our side for a few months. And this program will require the residents to install a separate meter and a mandatory backflow preventer, which they will have to get inspected annually by a certified plumber. So it's kind of a it's costly upfront. I would say anywhere from probably $3,000 to $3,500 it's going to cost somebody to do this. So I'm not sure how many will take part in that, but the EPA is, you know, we want to work with the EPA, and we want to make sure that we have all the proper connections and everything, and that's part of that. So I do have the sewer and water ordinances that are respectively impacted on that on the agenda tonight. Since the last meeting, we did close Mulberry Avenue to vehicular traffic. I want to thank Skip and Rick again. We've met out there. We've been working on that. Hats off to our street crew. They've closed it. They've got it ground down. We're ready to put new blacktop on it this week, and then we're going to put bollards up to prevent traffic from going down. And we've got really good feedback from that so far. So we're excited about that. We do have Mark, and I want to thank Mark. I know he's not here tonight, but for all the work he did on that ordinance to do that permanently. That is changing it from vehicular to pedestrian. The city is still going to maintain the alley itself. We're not vacating it. We're just changing its use. Rick and Skip did talk to the liquor establishments about how the new DORA would work and affect them. And if you go to those establishments and they get the seating outside, each establishment may be a little bit different, but the store owners are clear on how that would move forward. But we hope to, that they participate soon, that people can actually sit outside and consume alcoholic beverages and food and they won't be allowed to walk around. We mentioned that at the last council meeting, but appreciate that. And they seemed very happy that the council did that. So we thank you for that. I think Dan, Mr. Becker mentioned the charging station a couple meetings ago. We should have that installed within the next couple weeks. So we're excited about that. Our crews are going to get the base ready to go, and we're actually found what we think is a really good deal that we can just lease the product, so it'll always be new. It will, if there's any updates in the software or anything, that unit will always be updated and maintained by the company. The town cleanup went very smooth. Thanks for all the citizens for participating and showing up. We did get some traffic at the park, so we're excited about that. That reduces our manpower out and about. We did the quarter thing that each individual day that really has helped. We did collect 18 dumpsters. Those are 40 cubic yard dumpsters. And last year we did 15. This year we did 18. And we did bring in 180 tires. And right before that, the week before, we did pick up 6 loads of brush. So cleaning up the city. The street department's been working on let's see here, with the phase 2 improvements. For the R&B has brought up another project that we'd like to do next year. And part of that will be rehabbing the pool parking lot. And Jesse, Wilson Street Superintendent, and I have been working with them to try to see if we can contribute to that to get that project off the ground. We're looking for some donations and such, and and it's going pretty well so far. We did patch holes with 16 tons of patch. Moving on to the water department, they are shorthanded out there. We've got some people off on service duty, and we are doing our triennial testing of lead and copper, and that is new guidelines in 2018, and we're following all those. Wastewater department, big project there. The sludge press, if you remember when you toured that, that's in its own building. There's a great big belt on that that winds in and out. They replaced that. And they also pressed. And we're still working on some quirks in the RAS pump building. We did replace a few relays, and they're also shorthanded down there because of the we have a couple people that are in the service, and they go on the weekends or take a month off and go. Park and Cemetery, they're continuing to monitoring the governor's orders, and the pool's going well still. It's hard to believe it's mid-August, so we're starting to wind down on the pool. Electric department, we've been working on GIS maps. We have some GIS that's available to you online at our webpage, and we're working on that with the the south substation and north substation. We're also doing some work in the park. We're making some updates of the infrastructure and adding new data points, and that is RCAP. And while I have them on my mind, I was invited to speak at the national conference for RCAP today. It was a discussion panel, and they were really interested in hearing about Columbiana and what we've been doing the last couple of years, and how we've worked with RCAP, not only the asset management, the rate studies, the GIS, but also the entrepreneurial program that Progress Committee is working on. So that was pretty neat. It was a let's see, I believe it was a little over 2 hours today on Zoom, and I believe there was over 300 attendants. So it was I couldn't see them, but it was, I don't know how they set it up on Zoom, but they could see me, but I couldn't see them. The electric department's been working on the bistro lights that we ordered last year. Those came in, taking down the old Christmas lights, and we're going to reuse those Christmas lights, some of the strands, and hopefully string them up down Mulberry Alley at some point. But these are the lights that will replace the Christmas lights. They'll be up all year round. They run parallel to the street. They're not going to cross over anymore, but they're fully programmable. You can make them do pretty much anything. And right now we have them programmed to like the Christmas lights, but we'll mess with that. It's going to take a couple weeks until all the technology gets worked out, but we're excited about that. It's going to bring some joy to downtown, I think, and fully programmable. We'll be able to do red, white, and blue for 4th of July, for example, and any other colors that you can think of, maybe red and white during football games or something. So they'll also listen to the music that's playing on the street and act like a synthesizer. And these lights are very similar. They look almost identical to the ones outside of Birdfish, except for they are called RGB lights, and they are fully programmable. You can put any color that you want on the spectrum. So pretty excited about that. I think that's all I have, Ron.
Very good. I think those lights are exciting. I saw a couple people the other day that were asking us why we were just now taking down our Christmas lights, and made it look like we had left them up all year. But I think it's good for people to know what we're doing. I think the response when people realized it, they were very excited. So I just want to point out, under manager's report, you have the mayor's court report from June and July. And I, again, just wanted to thank you guys for your action that you took in June so that we could get that done. With the new clerk was in place, trained, and the court is completely caught up and current through today, actually. So that's going well. You received the bill list for August 4th as well as August 18th. Any comments or questions on that? Hearing none, we'll move into old business. Due to the length of the ordinances, can I have a motion to read them by title only?
So moved.
Second.
A roll call?
McBain,
Yes.
Liston,
Yes.
DiTilio,
Yes.
Noel,
Yes.
Becker? You're muted, Dan.
Yes, and thank you.
Souter,
Yes.
Okay, ordinance number 20-0-3044, second reading. An ordinance authorizing the city manager to enter into a contract with Mike's Tree and Landscape LLC, 800 West Baton Street, Alliance, Ohio, 44601, for the furnishing of tree pruning for the city of Columbiana.
So
So
moved.
moved.
Second.
Any comments? Have roll call?
Liston,
Yes.
DiTilio,
Yes.
Noel,
Yes.
Becker,
Yes.
Souter,
Yes.
McBain?
Yes.
Ordinance number 20-0-3045, second reading. An ordinance authorizing the city manager to enter into a contract with Mike's Tree and Landscape LLC, 800 West Baton Street, Alliance, Ohio, 44601, for the furnishing of tree removal and stump grinding for the city of Columbiana.
So moved.
Second.
I don't know who got there first.
Yeah, the second, there you go.
This makes me really miss having live meetings. Have roll call?
DiTilio,
Yes.
Noel,
Yes.
Becker,
Yes.
Souter,
Yes.
McBain,
Yes.
Liston,
Yes.
I'll move on to new business. Ordinance number 20-0-3046, first reading. An ordinance authorizing the city manager to enter into a contract with Dallas Dawson and Associates Consulting Engineers for the purpose of providing engineering services for the design service for the Park Springfield Heck Road roadway improvement project, PID 108703.
So moved.
Second.
Any comments? Have roll call?
Noel,
Yes.
Becker,
Yes.
Souter,
Yes.
McBain,
Yes.
Liston,
Yes.
DiTilio,
Yes.
Lance, with that project, I think we all need to send a thanks, not only to you, but to the street department. I mean, knowing that 3 months of paving budget is giving us 7 years worth of paving is mind boggling.
Yeah.
And when you couple that with the number you and I talked about the other day, that's what, 22 million plus?
Yeah. 22 million, as of 2014, if you remember the State of the City presentation that we did earlier this year, it was at 20 million. We're at 22 million right now
So in
of announcements. Yeah.
yes, 6.5 years. That's awesome.
Yeah.
So, I mean, if you take the general fund gets about $2 million a year in tax revenue. So, I mean, we've brought in 10 years, 11 years worth of tax benefit to the city, completely free to the taxpayers. That's awesome.
And the 10 years that we did bring in, we wouldn't have,
Right.
because we'd have used it for something else.
Right.
Right.
Oh, yeah, it's amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like getting an additional free years of growth of the city with no strings attached. So, that's awesome. Moving forward, ordinance number 20-0-3047, first reading, an ordinance amending ordinance number 93-0-1367 to add a new section to implement a deduct meter, also known as irrigation meter, program for users, customers of the water system of the city of Columbiana, and repealing ordinances in conflict herewith.
So moved.
Second.
I know this is going to make a lot of people in my neighborhood very, very happy. Any comments? A roll call?
Becker,
Yes.
Souter,
Yes.
McBain,
Yes.
Liston,
Yes.
Tilio,
Yes.
Noel,
Yes.
Ordinance number 20-0-3048, first reading. An ordinance amending ordinance number 03-0-2070 to add a new section to implement a deduct meter, also known as irrigation meter program for users, customers of the sewer system of the city of Columbiana, and repealing ordinance in conflict herewith.
So moved.
Second.
Any comments?
Yeah, the section 4 about an annual inspection. I think we really ought to put some teeth in that, or it'll just get overlooked if we
So-
don't do something that really puts some bite into that.
Yeah, it's a state thing, so they're going to be responsible for doing it, and the state's going to have a problem with them if they don't do it. So I'll make sure that we have a log on them, but they are required to do that inspection and then send it to us, and if not, we just report it to the EPA.
It's got to be a license.
Customary charges, Ted, for that plumber to come in each year is right around $100. So they really, really will stay with it if they're going to be in that type of modality. Excuse me. If
Just-
they want to water those lawns.
I've seen how this goes. The original owner puts it in, the new owner comes along, he's not too crazy about it, he don't get it inspected. I really think we ought to do something, threaten a water shut off or something like that if we don't have a report in 30 days after the date. I mean, really put some bite in it.
That does make sense. Go out and remove that meter if they don't do their annual inspection. That does make a lot of sense.
How does that work, Lance? Are those meters paralleled with each other, or is there a branch off T?
So it's going to be after the main service, meter, and then it'll branch off from that.
Okay.
And then actually you need to put a drain in, after once you install it, there needs to be a drain to a floor drain, for when if it does activate, it doesn't want to get the carpet, they don't want to get the carpet wet. You have to actually plumb it in to a floor drain. Be easier to put it on a new build, I can tell you that.
So it's got to go through the primary meter first, then it goes through the secondary meter? Is that what
I
you
believe that's the case.
Okay.
Well, that would make sense for the deduct meter. It would deduct the amount of water that used to water the yard.
Yeah, it's right there in the title, isn't
I had to just come to me too.
it?
Any other comments or questions? Go ahead, roll call.
Souter,
Yes.
McBain,
Yes.
Liston,
Yes.
Tilio,
Yes.
Noel,
Yes.
Becker,
Yes.
Very good. Ordinance number 20-0-3049, first reading. An ordinance to convert a portion of Mulberry Alley to pedestrian only and to authorize the placement of tables and chairs within such portion of Mulberry Alley, all in conjunction with Dora events.
So moved.
Second.
Any comments?
Lance, you said they were gonna put pipe bollards in. Are they gonna do both ends?
Yeah, they're going to do both ends, and they're going to be decorative. So they'll, if you walk into the current Columbiana Commons, where the Lakeman mural is that they donated, that pocket park, if you will, is going to, if you look at that entrance, you could just cut and paste that and put that at the front of the other one. And then the bollards are going to be the same. They're going to have like pavers around them. So there's going to be, steel lined, and then they'll look like a square that's coming up with a flat top on it.
Steel is up now, right, Lance?
I'm sorry.
The steel is up now.
Well, this, yes, the steel is up, but I'm not sure what day they're coming to build the rest of it.
I was thinking, I don't know where you're planning on with this, but the sidewalk in that area, it might be nice to remove the street approach and kind of level that out. Doesn't need to be done in the first day, obviously, but
Yeah.
kind of as a future plan, just to make it not look like, the entrance of an alley.
Yeah.
Unless there's a reason to leave that in there. But that'd be down the road.
Any other comments or questions? Have roll call?
McBain,
Yes.
Liston,
Yes.
DiTilio,
Yes.
Noel,
Yes.
Becker,
Yes.
Souter,
Yes.
Resolution number 20-R-556, first reading. A resolution accepting the amount and rates as determined by the Budget Commission and authorizing the necessary tax levies and certifying them to the county auditor.
So moved.
Second.
Any comments? Have roll call?
Liston,
Yes.
DiTilio,
Yes.
Noel,
Yes.
Becker,
Yes.
Souter,
Yes.
McBain,
Yes.
All right, resolution number 20-R-557, first reading. A resolution accepting the amount and rates as determined by the Budget Commission and authorizing the necessary tax levies and certifying them to the county auditor.
So moved.
Second.
Any comments? Have a roll call?
DiTilio,
Yes.
Noel,
Yes.
Becker,
Yes.
Souter,
Yes.
McBain,
Yes.
Liston,
Yes.
All right. Anyone at this point wishing to address council from the public? Hearing none, we'll move to council comments. Any comments this evening?
Well, I
Is
think
this-
one of the things that we need to do is address whether or not we're going to do Zoom meetings for the upcoming meetings. And I'd like to make a motion that we continue Zoom meetings until such time that the governor allows gatherings of, say, at least 30 people. Because otherwise we will not have the space. We will not be able to have meetings where the public can attend, because just the people that have to be there exceed 10 right now.
I'll second it.
I think, oh, okay,
No, go ahead.
I'll second the motion for
Have
discussion.
I think
Second the
it's,
motion.
I think it's more critical than even Dick has brought up. We do have the governor to worry about, and we also have to wear masks. But on council itself, we've got 4 of our members who are in the critical population. We may not want to believe that, but we are.
I don't
And
believe it.
that's an issue. And if that happens, we can take it home to our loved ones, whatever. I would dearly love to see us get in council again. I mean, that was a lot of fun, enjoying the camaraderie of the people, and everything that we did was great. But I really don't think we can afford that right now. So I'm going to go right along with Dick and probably not want to look at this again till November.
Well, Skip, I'd like to thank you and Dick for your comments like that. I'm a proponent of face-to-face, always have been. However, in our present situation, mine personally, things would be rather difficult. So, my thoughts are the same with the 2 of you.
I agree as well. I mean, none of us are spring chickens anymore. And beyond that, if we aren't at risk, then there are probably people in our immediate circles who are. So I do agree that going back to face at this point is probably just, we're not there yet. And I'd love to get back into we have a blast when we're in there. So we do miss something, I think, by not being there. But
Dan, if you're not a spring chicken, I'm too old to eat.
I think.
Skip, I am eligible for an AARP card now. That's all I'm saying.
You've graduated.
I've graduated.
You have one.
So,
That
You guys are all old.
I would just like to comment that I agree with all the previous comments, but I have run into some of the people that go to our meetings religiously, which is great that we have them from the community come in, and they are so disappointed that they cannot be at council meetings, and they're not technologically able to, participate in this kind of format. So it's really too bad. But I don't see how we can make any other decision at this point.
Well, you guys have said it all. I'd sure like to get back there where I'd have to put a pair of pants on to come to the meeting.
I did not need to
I
hear
certainly hope so.
That should be reported.
You just want to be like Hannity.
That might be my lead. Either that or that Dan's eligible for the AARP card.
I've got a friend who's a mayor of Salisbury, and I think it's North Carolina. He posted a picture one day on Facebook. He's got a jacket on, white shirt, tie, getting ready to go to his council meeting. He's got his underwear on, his boxer shorts on.
Scott, your headline could be "Spring chickens are allowed in Columbiana."
Oh, please do that. Yes.
See, we can't have the barbing like this whenever we're not in council chambers. It's not the same.
It loses something, yeah.
Could I call for a vote on the motion, please?
Yeah.
Noel,
Yes.
Becker,
Yes.
Souter,
Yes.
McBain,
Yes.
Liston,
Yes.
Tilio,
Yes.
No, we're good. Any other comments this evening?
Oh, Amber, keep your Tuesday nights open.
I just have a question.
Sounds good, guys. Thank you.
Now that we're moving forward with the closing of Mulberry Alley, there's going to be a time where the weather is going to be inclement. And how are we going to deal with that? Is that up to the patrons, or just an open question, I guess?
Well, I'd like to comment that the Progress Committee has been discussing that. And we've brought some people in from the community that are very active, and Lance is working with us. And we're working on trying to develop some plans to deal with that matter. And I think there's going to be a lot of exciting changes there. Hopefully they will accommodate that space to be used pretty much all year round at some point. I think that's our goal, is to get it to be utilized 12 months out of the year. So that's a good question, Dan, and I hope we can work on it.
That's great that you guys are thinking about that, because the idea, thought, I was looking at the Farmer's Almanac just the other day, and it's like, okay, which way is it going to run or hide and whatever. So glad that you're doing that. Thank you, Rick.
A lot of people tell me they miss having a place to ice skate in the winter.
That's our next project.
There are some of our lakes are less deep now and some are more deeper. So, but I agree with you.
Yeah, every time I see Kenny, he keeps asking me if we could have professional ice skaters come in and put on a show.
Tell Kenny to drill the hole in the ice to see if it's thick enough.
Right out in the middle.
Oh, God bless you.
Hey, Brian, I got a fun fact. A little birdie told me today that somebody on council is celebrating a birthday.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, and I think that might be Mr. Souter. Not real sure. Of course, he might not talk to me again.
Oh, the little bird, the dirty bird.
The spring chicken.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes, I made full retirement age today.
Congratulations.
Oh, so it's a milestone. Congratulations.
Yeah.
Wow. So when are you going to retire?
I don't know if I can. You do it for 50 years, you don't know what you do tomorrow.
Believe me, I don't know how I found time to work. I just seem to stay really busy, so.
I feel that way now, Skip.
Congratulations.
I've been to your place. You don't look really busy. This is the only vice president, boss, whatever he is, that walks around his place with his socks.
We've never been to PhD. Our vice president walks around in his socks.
Oh boy.
So you're in good company, Ted.
Well, that's a good environment.
Happy birthday.
Thank
Happy
you.
birthday, Ted.
Happy birthday.
One thing on the planning commission minutes, I do see that error. Since they haven't gone out to planning commission members yet, I'll go ahead and make a correction and send a corrected set of minutes to Rebecca so she can send out the corrected version, and then planning commission won't have to go through the bother of having to amend them. So thanks for pointing that out, Dan.
No problem. Try to help where I can.
Thank you.
Anything else? If not, we need a motion to adjourn.
So
So
moved.
moved.
Well, have a good evening and a good week, everybody. And Ted, I hope you get to do something fun.
You too. Yeah.
Well, I did my council meeting. That was fun.
I bet your wife loves you.
Oh, yeah.
Bye, guys.
See you later.
Right, everybody.
Good night.